we appreciate you being with us on this Monday edition of Weather Impact Now. I'm Chief Meteorologist Trevor Burchett, hoping you all had a fantastic 4th of July holiday weekend. I know I did, even though I ran into a couple of storms out there. My 4th was sunny, my side of town, but I know some of you on Saturday had some very heavy rain. I got it on Sunday. That's kind of the nature of these summertime storms. Some areas will get a torrential downpour while others are completely dry. We'll check in on some of those videos and even some storm reports of damage coming up here a little bit later. But as always, we start out with a check of your local forecast. And I do think we are going to be more dry this week. This is going to be a mostly dry week compared to last week when we had a lot more of those pop-up storms. I think this week's mostly dry. Still going to be warm. Still going to be a little humid, and we do always have that chance of an isolated pop-up storm. We can never completely rule it out. I do think this week is going to be a lot more on the dry side. Summertime, though, probably still want to have your umbrella just to be on the safe side. Radar today has been almost completely clear in our part of the world. We do have some storms over near Little Rock, very heavy storms actually. That prompted a severe thunderstorm warning a bit ago. That is moving south, so I do not expect that in our area. We've also had some thunderstorms along the Tennessee River closer to Nashville, but that is also not coming in our direction. So we're kind of stuck in the middle, and it seems like many of us are dry. Now, there have been a couple of showers in northern Mississippi County, Arkansas. I've been watching a sprinkle or two up near Leachville, Monette, Manila, toward Blytheville. That little shower seems to be falling apart, but there could be a couple of sprinkles out near I-55 north of Osceola. Other than that, seems like everybody is pretty dry. There is a storm here in Craighead County north of Jonesboro. We'll see how long that one can hold together, but any little shower that does pop up today, it does not seem like it is lasting very long. Now, we are going to have to leave in at least a slight chance of showers for the rest of the week. We have a stationary boundary that's going to get stuck right on top of us, and that can kind of act like a mechanism to pop up some storms. So anytime that front is nearby and stuck nearby, we are going to have to keep in the chance of pop-up storms. Seems like many of us will be dry, but again, we'll have to keep in at least the chance. Sunny, hot, and humid right now in downtown Memphis, although I will say not as humid as it was last week. Our current temperature is 90. But notice the big key here is your dew point. That's our measure of the humidity. That's a bit lower today, and I think that's due in part to those northerly winds. We've got winds out of the north, so we have a drier air mass coming in. So even though it is still hot, it's still a little humid. It's not as humid as it was last week. We had dew points in the 70s, so we had a heat index near 110. Right now, heat index is 93. So again, it's still hot, just not as bad as last week. We got to take it where we can get it, right? Muggy meter stays pretty low for tomorrow, but we do see that humidity ramp back up as we look ahead toward the end of the week and the weekend. So just be prepared. We do expect that heat index to climb a little bit higher, but at least for today and tomorrow, I don't think it's going to be all too bad. Still hot out there. We made it to 92 today. Morning low was 73. That is exactly on the money for where we should be. This is a very typical July the 6th. Average high is 92. Average low is 73. That's right where we were today on both parts. Record high was 102, set back in 1954. And again, no rain in the bucket today. 90 right now in Memphis. A lot of spots in the 80s, though. 85 in Dyersburg, 89 in Corinth, 88 Clarksdale and Tunica. Heat index, again, hasn't really hit 100 today because the dew point is a bit lower. Still warm, though. 95 is what it feels like right now in Tunica and Clarksdale. So this evening, we will leave in at least a chance of some very isolated pop-up showers like what we're seeing in Mississippi County. I think most of us are dry tonight, though. 80s through 10 p.m., maybe some more clouds rolling in, and then a partly cloudy night tonight. Temperatures actually not feeling half bad. 69 in Bolivar and Corinth, also in Dyersburg, Covington. 70 in Oxford and Clarksdale. We'll get to 74 tonight in Memphis. Temperature-wise, I think tomorrow is very similar to today. We get a little bit of that northerly breeze, so it's not going to be quite as humid, but still hot. Wake up in the 70s. High temperature is going to be around 90 tomorrow. Partly cloudy to mostly sunny, but I did include, again, a slightly higher chance of a couple of pop-up storms tomorrow. Not going to hit every neighborhood, but I do think tomorrow's the day that has maybe the best chance of a couple of those pop-ups, especially around 3 or 4 p.m. Now, the hour-by-hour picks up on that pretty well. It also picks up on that chance of maybe an isolated shower this evening. I just think the odds are really low tonight. So most areas are dry tonight. We'll start off tomorrow nice and dry, but Well, watch about 3, 4, 5 o'clock. We get into the heat of the day. We get some pop-up storms. They're very isolated, but just like we saw this weekend, if you do see a storm, it could pack a punch. So we'll watch for that tomorrow afternoon and evening. Very typical summertime storms. They're isolated. They're hit or miss. It could be completely sunny in one neighborhood, pouring rain in the next over. They don't usually last long, but again, these pop-up storms can be heavy, maybe even some gusty wind. So if you do hear thunder around, make sure you go ahead and head inside. So again, high of 90 tomorrow with some pop-up storms. Wednesday, Thursday, we will lower the rain chances a bit. I think it's pretty dry to end the week, but it does mean our temperature is going to go back up. 91 Wednesday, 93 on Thursday, and even hotter by the end of the week. It does appear that by the middle of June, we're going to see those temperatures get back above average. Again, average is about 92 for this time of year, so it does look like we'll be slightly above that for the middle of the month for July, and then again, more of those chances for some pop-up thunderstorms. Tuesday's definitely the best chance. It's not going to rain everywhere tomorrow, but if you're going to see a storm, the best chance is Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday look pretty dry. And then maybe by the weekend, a better chance of a couple more pop-up storms. So tomorrow, definitely a day to have the umbrella with you. Be sure you're watching the radar on the ABC24 app for your phone and for your smart TV. Be aware by the afternoon and evening, could easily see a couple of pop-up storms, high near 90. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, turning more dry, mostly sunny to partly cloudy, highs in the mid-90s, heat index around 100 to end the week. Very slight rain chances there. Again, we can never say 0% this time of year, but I do think the odds of any major rain for the second half of the week are going to be pretty low. We will watch the weekend. Partly cloudy both days, highs in the mid-90s, and a slight chance of those pop-up storms for both Saturday and Sunday. We'll keep it at about a 30% right now, so that means most areas will be dry this weekend. But like we saw last weekend, there could be a pop-up storm or two. We'll stay warm and muggy next week, 93, partly cloudy for next Monday. So a very typical summertime pattern, a couple of isolated pop-up storms, but again, I do think this week is going to be more dry than what we saw last week. Now, a lot of us are coming back in town and settling in after a very busy holiday weekend, but if you are just headed out of town, you don't want to miss your regional weather forecast, and meteorologist Daniel McDonald will have that for you right after the break.